Greetings, Silver Screen Suppers Clubbers. I'm doing something a little bit different for this demo. I'm going to do an overhead demo. It's quite exciting. I've painted my nails especially. Joan Crawford's recipe for Danti-Chips is in this brilliant book, Famous Stars, Favourite Foods. This book was edited by somebody with the rather amusing name of Fanny Sniff. I'm not joking. I've tried to find out who Fanny Sniff was, but I haven't managed to find out. So if anyone knows, let me know. And as you see, it's rather a fabulous book. I've cooked quite a few things from here. And here's Joan with her recipe for Danti-Chips. Now, Danti-Chips, oh, sorry, there goes my phone. Someone's pinging me. I should have turned that off, shouldn't I? So Danti-Chips, Joan seems to have invented this concept because I cannot find any evidence of anyone else ever calling something like this Danti-Chips. But Joan did invent things to eat, so it's quite possible that she decided that these were called Danti-Chips. It's very easy, but I'm going to show you how I make them because I do make them slightly differently to Joan, and I hope she wouldn't mind. But Joan layers her Danti-Chips up in a way that seems counterintuitive to me. So the ingredients are a bag of potato chips, American cheese, sliced sweet, pickles and potted ham. Potted ham's quite difficult to get hold of here in the UK. So I would say if you can't get hold of potted ham, you could use some other savoury spread. Like in the UK you can get potted beef, which sounds weird, but it's actually quite tasty. But today I'm making some veganised versions of the Danti-Chips because I'm going to be having a cocktail party and I know that one of the people coming is vegan. So I thought I'd do these vegan style. I've tried it and it works, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So Joan says, place a thin layer of cheese on each chip. Well, potato chips are quite fragile, crisps to us Brits. So I tend to use tortilla chips because they are a bit more sturdy. So I've picked out a few nice looking ones out of my bag of tortilla chips. So she says, put the cheese on the chip, cover it with thin slices of sweet pickles. You want the little ones, and a layer of potted ham. Well, cheese and then pickles and then trying to put the ham on top seems a bit odd to me, so I do it a different way around, which I will show you. So I'm going to pop Joan over there, out of the way. I've found a nice vegan spread that I'm using for these. Granny's Secret Achvar. Don't know what country this is from. Serbia. Oh, it's a Serbian thing. Delicious. My friend Sanya is Serbian and she's an amazing cook. She cooks all kinds of brilliant things. So I'm just putting a little bit of the, what's it called? Achvar on the tortilla chip. Then I'm going to put some vegan cheese on top of that, like that. Cut that up into little squares. And then I'm going to artistically arrange a few pieces of gherkin. So you want to leave the cheese room so that it will melt. So I've made these quite a few times. They're nice and easy. And Joan's got quite a few recipes for nice hors d'oeuvre, canapé type things, which you'll find in the book. Cheese straws, they're good. That is a good little recipe. I've made those a few times. Not good for vegans, of course. Well, you could probably make them with vegan cheese. I haven't tried the cheese straws with vegan cheese, but I will, because you know lots of people are turning vegan these days, so it's nice to have a few snacky snacks up your sleeve. So these will go into an oven so that the cheese will melt. Another canapé that Joan invented was something she calls salami sandwiches. And they are two different types of salami with a bit of mustard speared on them, and speared with a cocktail stick with a pickled onion on the end. She invented that. She says so in My Way of Life, which is her brilliant guide to living your life like a superstar like her, which I highly recommend. That book is fantastic. So if you haven't got a copy, put one on your Christmas list. And of course, put a Cooking with Joan Crawford on your Christmas list if you're a Joan Crawford fan, or you know a Joan Crawford fan. There are a lot of people around who are Crawford fans. There's over 30 of Joan's favourite recipes in the book. I've cooked most of them, but there's 6 new ones in there that I discovered since I published the original book, which I did about 10 years ago. So I found some new ones, including the cocktail, which I demonstrated earlier this week. I think it went up earlier this week. So you get the idea. I guess you could put the cheese on top of the gherkins for more meltability. So I have tried this before, and vegan cheese, well, this vegan cheese doesn't quite have the same sort of melting properties as American cheese, as Joan recommends, or cheddar, which is what I use if I'm making them for people who do dairy. I'd be interested, if there's any vegans watching, if they could recommend a good melty cheese. So I'm going to put these in the oven, and then I will come back and show you what they look like when they've come out of the oven. Joan just says put them in a hot oven, I think. I'm going to try 150 degrees C, which I think is 300 degrees F, but you better check that if you're in the States. Don't know what gas mark. I'm sorry, I should have looked that up. But look, aren't they pretty? And so easy to make. So I'm going to stick them in the oven, and then I'll come back and show you what they look like. So there you have it, my chums, the Danti-Chips. I did some with some potted beef because I had some left over from last time I made them. So the cheese didn't really melt very much, but I looked up the temperature. So 150 degrees C is 300 degrees F, gas mark 2. I did them for about 10 minutes, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to turn the oven up a little bit just to try and melt the cheese a bit more. So I turned it up to about 200 and then left them in the bed for about 3 more minutes. You've got to be careful, they do easily burn. I burnt the last batch I made, so keep an eye on them. So I hope you'll enjoy making some Danti-Chips or any of the other recipes for dinner and a movie this month. The cocktail, the meatloaf, the coleslaw. All the recipes are in here, of course, with lots of other ones. And I'm rather proud of how lovely the book is looking. Lots of lovely pictures of Joan with all her recipes. So just want to say a big thank you to Nessa, who helped me with all the design and the layout of the book. I think it looks really lovely. Just a perfect Christmas present for the Joan Crawford fan in your life. Do send me photos if you make Danti-Chips or any of the other things. There's a competition to win a copy of the book. And yeah, have fun and enjoy Mildred Pierce, because as I think I said about 3 times in the last video, I think it's a masterpiece. Let me know what you think of the film once you've watched it, and do send me photos of anything you make. All right then, my chums, this is my dinner, so I'm going to have that now. I wish I had some limes, and then I would have had a Joan Crawford cocktail alongside, but I have no limes. All right then, my lovelies, take care of yourselves. Bye for now. Cheerio.